Welcome back to Down to Business with V. I'm your host, V, and today we are discussing romance scams and how these dark cons are taking an even darker twist. Today we have in the studio with us Tanya Dudley. She is the Chief Information Security Officer for Cofense. Tanya, thank you for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
For those of our audience that might have missed the first segment, can you briefly recap for them what romance scams are, what trends we're seeing, and then this trend of using spiritual rituals to target victims?
Sure. So we'll start with romance scams. So oftentimes somebody believes they're in a relationship with from an online relationship, right? Not somebody that they know in person. Sometimes these happen on online dating profile websites and applications, or even just from social media, where they might reach out through Facebook or Instagram. Just a common one where you might have that interaction, being able to direct message somebody. They oftentimes will start, nurturing and creating fake profiles to make you believe that you're interacting with a real person. So some of the trends that we're seeing are, we see threat actors nurturing these relationships, and they can take lots of time, right? 2 to 10 years, right? They nurture these relationships over time to be able to get these victims to then either swindle money out of them, or even act on their behalf to be a money mule, as we kind of mentioned before. And then the last part was the rituals, right? So getting into some of the darkness. So many of these threat actors are based out of Nigeria, where we see some interesting cultural behaviors, right? Where they want to make their way up into the hierarchy, or believe that in order for them to be successful in their campaigns, that they need to participate in some of these rituals.
Yeah, very, very dark. And, as I mentioned before in the first segment, we're hearing about this coming out of Nigeria, but we're also hearing stories that this is happening in the U.S.
Yeah.
With different threat actors that are using dark magic,
right,
to target their victims.
Right. Right. They can also, in those conversations, right, getting their victims to then participate in some of these things, right, because they believe in this in their own environment, right? So if they can try and help their victim, by doing some of these rituals, that maybe they'll be even more successful too.
Very dark, very, very dark.